Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to a new episode of Words of Wellness. I'm your host, Yassir Al-Manawi, a clinical therapist. Today, we're going to be talking and discussing our verbal actions and interactions amongst one another and amongst ourselves too. It is very important for us to realize and to watch what we say to other people. It's very important to us to watch our words to other people. And there is always the old say that is said, words are sharper than a sword. And we always say that whatever I say, I can't take back. But whatever I do, I can fix. So verbally, it is very powerful and very important. Today, we have Surah Al-Isra. I'm going to read a translation from Surah Al-Isra, ayah number 53. And then we'll discuss this issue afterwards. Surah Al-Isra, ayah 53. And tell my servants to say that which is best. Indeed, Satan includes dissent among them. Indeed, Satan is ever, to mankind, a clear enemy. So, if we concentrate on the surah, Satan is an enemy to mankind. But what I want to concentrate on is I have to say which is best. What does that mean? I have to say the best thing. I take it actually to human attitude and to human character. And I take it and I divide people into several types of people. The first type of people is that somebody that you go and have a meeting with and you sit down with. And after you meet with them, you find your energy is upbeat. You want to go out and you want to do things and you just are cheerful and you want to do a lot of things in your life. That's one type. The second type is a type that you sit down with and you feel like you have become, your energy is sucked down. You just don't want to do anything. You don't want to deal with anybody. It's all negative. That's the second type. The third type is somebody that you sit down with, and then after you're sitting with them, you find yourself angry at everything. You find yourself angry at everybody. And your view on life is full of anger. The fourth type of people is that you try to avoid at all times. You just don't want to be with them. You feel like, I don't want to meet this person today. Why? Because I just can't take them anymore. I don't want to meet with them. Why is that? Verbally, it's the first and most common form of communication, verbal communication. That's why we need to watch our verbal communication to our people. So how do we do that? You remember when I always say that everything starts from within, from me? Verbal communication, before it goes outside, I have to have communication with myself. This is what we call self-talk. Well, somebody might come to me and tell me, well, what is self-talk? Tell me, what is self-talk? Self-talk is this internal discussion that I have with myself at all times. Have you ever said or saw somebody who tell you, well, no, I'm just thinking out loud? Well, that's self-talk, but it came out loud. You have internal self-talk that doesn't come out loud, and that's what you need to watch, because that could affect you. For instance, I could become very negative on my views of life. How? Because of what I convince myself of. I say to myself things that makes me negative. I say to myself things that make me angry. I say to myself things that could make me depressed or don't want to do anything, want to isolate. So self-talk is very important. You have the other thing. It doesn't stop at me. It doesn't stop just to me. It passes on to other people. Remember when we said that other people are going to mirror my behavior? It's not only that. Other people are going to be a mirror to what I say. And that goes with the expressions that we said. Now, let's see. I want to go to a different point. The first point, we always said we have to watch what we're saying and we have to try to be positive in our outlook. What does that mean, positive in our outlook? Positive means that within each negative situation there is a positive that comes out of it. It's not all negative. There has to be a positive. Maybe I don't know it yet. Maybe I don't see it yet. But there is a positive. Well, somebody might tell me, well, I don't care about that. I tell them, well, just talk about your negative situations to somebody, and from your discussion, you might come up with something positive. Talk about it with yourself. Write it down and think about it. You will definitely come out with something positive. The other thing is watch what we say verbally. How? How do I watch what I say verbally? Meaning that I don't have to talk too much. I can sit down, listen, and then talk a little instead of talking too much and not listening. Why do we say that? We always say that in treatment because people who talk and not listen, you find them emotionally unhappy. I don't want to say unbalanced, so I said unhappy. Why? Because they feel that they have to talk. They feel that they have to say their opinion. What about other people's opinion? What about learning? How do I learn? I learn by listening from other people. There are a lot of people who have wisdom. I don't know. And I'm not going to know until I take the cotton out of my ears and put it into my mouth. This is what we usually say. Take the cotton out of your ear and put it into your mouth, just for a little bit. And even then, a lot of people will say, what do you mean? I have to be quiet? I don't have to talk? I say, yes. Just try it. Try it for a little bit, and you'll see. Actually, when you don't talk for a lot, or a lot of times, people will respect you. People will not only respect you, but they will value your opinion, because it's not said here and there and everywhere. It will be known that you only talk when your opinion is correct, when you talk when you need to be talked to, and you don't talk about anything and everything at the same time. That's a form of respect. And that's why we say it's self-respect. That's why today we're talking about a lot of things, but the main thing is actually what we're talking about is verbal communication. Let's see. I'm going to go back to the ayah. It says, say that which is best. What does that mean? Let's see if I have an enemy. What am I supposed to say with them? Am I supposed to talk a lot about them? You see, that's the whole thing. I'm supposed to watch what I'm saying and talk a little. So even if I have an enemy, they're not going to know everything about me, because people will study other people. Enemies study other people. So if I keep talking and talking and talking, I put all my cards on the table without even doing anything. So I need to talk little. Now, with talking little and saying what's best, I have to take self-inventory. Remember when we talked about self-inventory? I have to know myself. That in itself is going to enable me to say what's best, not only about me, but about other people. When I say what's best about other people and to other people, you're going to find a camaraderie in the community. You're going to find people coming to you. Why? Because they learn something. They learn something about you, they learn something about themselves, and they learn something about the community that they live in. So you see how it starts with self-inventory, and then you talk to other people, you don't demean them, you don't put them down, and you don't do anything that will hurt their feelings. Now, again, to wrap up this whole thing, I wanted to just mention that verbal communication is very important, very dangerous. So handle it wisely. With these words, I'll leave you for today's episode, and we'll see you next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.